I mean, there's enough plastic bottles in the way. At least I've got one on the chair now. When you're preparing to send a message to the King of Switzerland, it's best to send your very best. So if everything works out correctly, when this video needs to end, my father will walk out and interrupt me so that we can go to the electronics store and I'll look like a total fucking faggot on my world domination video. So hopefully this is the one we go with. This is a California Keef is what they call it. And they tell me it's all marijuana, and they tell me that it was pressed into this. There's not supposed to be any additives. And where I get it at my getting place, up the hill a bit yonder from me, costs $10 a gram. I switched to this about a week ago. Things I've been tripping balls ever since. Tripping balls. I've got in my mind. Hold on. I've got in my mind that there are these Swiss guards, gods, where they used to go. Sour diesel, this was $10 a gram. My name's Alexander William Erickson, and I've been banging on Twitter for nearly 3.5 years now. Facebook, other NSA bizarro methods through the internet, search engines. I first reached out to Switzerland in March of 2014. That sounds probably earlier than that, probably February 2014. Probably around Valentine's Day. I might have contacted them before that or after that about a U.S. Marine Corps snowboarding operation where we needed to gather some intel on the Vatican through the CIA. That's how an operation was the first thing I needed to get off the ground. It was the only thing that I told it actually got done. Now, what am I going to do with that at this point, 3 years later? Well, I raised as much hell as I figured I could on the internet. And I ran into another FBI situation. And took on a character. I know that's all I'm going to say about it. James Comey got fired and I took on a character called JJ. And that's all I can really say about it. Timing doesn't work up quite right because I have an account called Jester Jackson on Twitter that's over a year old. And I must have done that when I was drunk or on drugs or something. I don't even remember that specifically. And I have a pretty good memory of shit that I actually do. So, and I took another trip around. This is FBI situation. They never will retire an airstrip, even when they retire an airport. So, the FBI headquarters is the size of an airstrip. That's why I figured that's why I needed to address the video to the King of Switzerland and completely burn my entire operation to the ground except my YouTube videos. I really hope the King, as the King, I really hope you enjoyed and got to see in advance the fly video. I have this video concept. I started shooting this in New York, and again, this is one of those things where I weren't smoking weed, man, I wouldn't bring it up right now, you know. But since I'm doing drugs and we're just chatting for the first time, I got all kinds of formal stuff that we're gonna have to talk about. And I told people that you might cut their legs off, and I get it. I'm a pain in the ass, but I want to be friends. All right. I don't know if you're gonna live much longer. I don't know if you're just gonna be one of them pricks that doesn't die like me. Whatever. You and I should be friends. We should be business associates, partners, however it need to be written or said, and we should be loyal subjects as it should be accorded appropriately to each other. You know, there's a time for duplicity. There's a time for spying. There's a time for, you know, the government not telling the truth to the people, and there's a time when everybody needs to shut the hell up, and the people that are really absolutely in charge are going to have to stand and be accounted for, and stand and be accounted as they move forward for what they do. And that's what I'm here to do. And that's why I say I'm Alexander William Erickson. My name's historical. You've heard that name before in different formats. Erickson, son of Eric. Now, a little bit of trivia for you. There's a picture of me with a judge. I'll make sure you get a copy at some point. With one eye. What do we know about Alexander the Great's father? He had one eye. Alexander. Historical name. Got a sign with me standing in front of Alexander Avenue. My parents told me that they got married in front of the church on Alexander Avenue Street. There ain't no church on Alexander Avenue, man. There's no motherfucking church on Alexander. Ain't no motherfucker. It's a bullshit story. Just like everything else in my motherfucking shithole of a life. Fuck it. I'm gonna have some, I'll be better in a minute. So, FBI is going to bring their headquarters to town. What the fucking mess that is. This is what I'm told in the mind, man. I'm told, oh, what you need to do is tell the FAA that you're going to pick out San Jose Compton Airport for the FAA. Fuck it. Sure, I'll say that. And why not? What are you going to do? Tell me no? No, we're going to build it brick by brick. I heard of this shit called elemental transfer. Fuck. One of them fucking satellites that these niggers got, they got to be niggers. No, not the satellite where the people in the home, like me, like I'm just a normal person. I got the satellite dish, whatever. I'm talking about the people with the satellite dish, man. I think that they're downloading some sort of hardware, something. They ain't doing it to play fucking video games with each other. And I know we got satellites and stuff, but I don't think that's what I think they're collecting. I don't know. That's the shit that I worry about with this elemental transfer stuff. And then this JJ thing comes up, and I'm sitting here going, oh yeah, elemental transfer, I'm the absolute best at this. I order a Blackbird mission called Operation Blackbird, or no, sorry, at NASA we do missions. NASA mission Blackbird Salad. Or in this case, NASA mission hashtag Blackbird Salad, to make sure that we get it correct, which will piss NASA off. I'm into that. Gotta motivate those little bastards. Anyways. The niggers with the big giant fucking satellites, I'm really worried about them. I think that they're the reason that our kids are not growing up properly. I think that what they download is fed to gang lords, warlords, and porn stars when it should be going to the crops that will provide them proteins, etc., for their kids to grow up. And they're going to sit there and tell you, well, we're farming underground, asshole. We got this whole new fucking operation. Yeah, well, you still got to have what you need from the fucking sun rays that we schedule. It's like they claim to advance one technology and they go fucking one, 2, and 3 entire existences behind what we've been doing with the equipment that, as I am informed through my FBI undercover equipment, that we have. And I'm talking about, how is it that, a McDonald's restaurant is able to take on so many pounds of tonnage per day and yet output so much tonnage per week, output so much tonnage per day versus input so much tonnage per week. The numbers don't add up correctly. It's not just water. I'm not going to get into it. The problem is we're playing that game with our crops. Okay, so imagine that, McDonald's needs to, in order for them to produce their beef patty, they have beef that's on reserve, right? Then they have fresh beef that comes in. Okay, that together forms the fresh beef patty that then gets cooked automatically. I'm not going to get into it. I approve of that. Okay, you learn about this stuff in county jail, and you get adapted to pretty quickly. Now, not every McDonald's operates like that. Those that do tend to have better food products. Okay, these are food products. I'm not going to explain it any further than that. For all the people listening, I'm talking to the King of Switzerland. Okay. Anyways, we have a huge problem because we're letting giants grow up at the cost of the average kid not hitting puberty correctly. So when you couple that with the rampant sexuality that is swept through the internet, and I've reported to the Central Intelligence Agency as directly as I am able, with my absolute best foot forward to them as I am able. And I'm an asshole on the internet. That's day zero for me. I just approached it from that angle because we're all assholes on the internet. It's no fun if you don't. Okay? And I don't want to be spending my life on the internet. I want to figure out how to be in the graces and expectations of leaders that want to make a difference and improve their corporations and improve their environments. I will address all my business ideas and plans elsewhere. I have them. My reports should have gotten to you through my background channels that I have extensive plans for the Kingdom of Switzerland. However that may be when I get to it. And my trust fund, which should be residing within Switzerland, unless you guys completely fuck it up. I expect that. So if you do, it's in the Congo. In which point you will, and I will probably be spending 6 months to a year on the road kicking people's asses so that we'll be tough enough to go and deal with the people in the Congo. I wouldn't know how to do it any other way. Well, I think I've taken up enough of your time and made about as much sense as I'm able to. I don't think I'm getting pulled off the set like I had planned. The first video that where I absolutely said, okay, so I'm going to use the internet to get 3 PhDs. And I tell you to this day, I have no fucking idea what PhD stands for. Whatever, I haven't Googled it yet. But anyways, I'm going to get my PhD in communications, biology, and astroengineering. Most likely I'll have dissertations on all of them prepared and ready to submit the day that I have a first meeting one with somebody. So, I think I am that unpopular. Bitch. Yeah, I got thrown in jail. I sent a family friend, somebody I went to New Zealand, the Cook Islands with, okay? The fucking Aitutaki and Rarotonga with. And I went traveling with these fucking people for 2 weeks. And I hit on their daughter, who's now 23 or 24 years old. And the guy throws me in fucking jail for it. And doesn't even do it right. Creates false imprisonment records through false evidence trails. Shows up, acts like a complete doucher. Says that I claimed to rape his wife, when the last thing I said to him was on text message when he told me that he would not support me on anything. And I said, on text message, I said, I will fuck your wife, which is way different than saying I'm going to rape your wife. I've never said I'm going to rape somebody's wife. I've thought about rape a lot, but in terms of like actually going out there and laying plans for it, I said I would fuck her, and judgment has served me better on that to this day. I know, man. I just sound like fucking King Alexander's fucking stuff in his backyard. So this is my fucking shithole. They're trying to fucking foreclose on it. My dad runs around trying to sell the fucking house instead of demanding to protect it. I don't know, man. Maybe it's a scam that keeps us here longer. I don't know. Then when they're going to move me to Virginia, they won't talk to me about one fucking thing. Breaks my heart. I try and communicate to them about stuff. It just doesn't work. Possessive characters, people, man. Different. People change, I guess. Life changes. I gotta figure out how to break out of here. And, the question on everybody's mind today is, will I burn my friend John McNulty? Well, John McNulty's not my friend. John McNulty's a real estate agent that managed to get a friend of mine involved in his life and informed me of how she had fucked with him in his life. Blah, blah, blah. Our business association failed shortly thereafter or shortly prior to, you know what I'm saying? Thus bankrupting me. And so I have a couple ideas for some apps, and he probably puts me in the system with Scott Jacobs and all these other niggers. And they're sitting there running their gang into the fucking ground. I show up to save the day in red and fucking gold on the internet with Plex and OnePlus. And John McNulty gets involved in helping OnePlus sell out to Sundar, the supposed CEO of Google, which makes no sense to me whatsoever. I'm in jail and I hear that Google is now Alphabet, and I'm just like, oh, they're ripping me off at Ames, man. They are fucking ripping me off at Ames, and I'm just trying to figure out how to break the fuck in. My name is Alexander William Erickson. You'll get to know me as JJ and Dr. Andre on Facebook.